Well, today I'm going to show you how to make some bezels and then how to use those bezels for some really interesting and fun jewellery. I don't know if you saw my video that I made a few weeks ago where I poured directly onto a chain using UV resins. Well, I'm taking that a little bit step further. I'll link that video at the end of this one so you can see it. I've got these molds. I'm sure we've got a lot of these kicking around. And what I'm going to be using is these circle ones. And that is going to be the inside of my open backed bezel. And I'm going to make those out of UV resin. And the first thing I'm going to be doing is putting some gloves on. I've already got my mask on and I've already got my air purifier on in the background. I don't know if you can hear it. To make the bezels, what I'm going to be using is a mixture of the glittered coloured resin by J. Diction and the coloured resins without the glitter or metallic look in them. And I'm going to be sticking to these three here. I'm going to make some purple ones. Now, I found the best way to do this is when you're filling your mould in, make sure that you've got a constant stream of the actual resin itself and you don't stop squeezing, because that way you don't put any bubbles into it. It really does make a big difference to the finish. And then fill these up to the height that you want. I'm filling them right to the top. Like that. Any overpour as well, I will get rid of that before I cure these up, because what I don't want to do is have any sharp bits to it. Although you could dome these afterwards, but I want to have as little amount of work as possible. Now, these molds did have the posts in them to make holes with, and all I did for that was, because I don't use these ring ones for anything else, all I did for that was pull those posts out. I just got hold of them like that, pulled it out, and it comes out quite nice and flat. So again, just going round, and they do some lovely colours in these. And unlike colouring them yourself, I don't know what it is what they do to make them, but unlike colouring UV resin yourself, if you use clear, these cure up really easily without any issues whatsoever. I'll go a quick run over them with a long neck lighter, just to burst any bubbles that may have come to the top. I'll give them a tap as well, and that will help release any bubbles and get them to be nice and even going all the way around. And now I can cure them up. I'm curing them up for 3 minutes, and once that 3 minutes is up, then I'm curing them up on the underside as well. Well, now these have had 3 minutes to cure, what I'm going to do is pop them out and put them onto my little clear tray in my curing machine, and then put that on for 3 more minutes, and then that will carry on curing those up nice and hard while I do my other ones. And I'm going to do 2 more of the medium size rings in that same color, and then some in different colors, and some with glitter UV resin as well. Well, I've got these done now, and what I'm going to do is thread some wire through these and then fill them. But obviously I need to drill some holes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a drill bit that's about the size of the wire. I can measure that up by putting my wire onto the end of my drill bit. And that's a bit big, so I think I'll go down the next size. Yeah, that's perfect, because I want these to be nice and tight in here. And then I'm going to put that into my Dremel. Now, if you don't have a Dremel, I use my Dremel all the time for so many different things. But if you don't have a Dremel, then you could do this with a hand drill or whatever drill you've got. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is drill through here and then through the opposite side, and this will drill through really easily. I'm going to check the size of that wire first before I do anything else. Oh yeah, it fits in there lovely and snug. And then I can look there and drill through that one. That wire should fit through there like that, and there's our bezel ready. So what I'm going to do is finish drilling the rest and then show you some other designs that I've done as well. Well, I've got these all drilled now, and all I need to do is give them a bit of a clean up. And as you can see, I've done lots of different colours. I've done a gold, some black, some purple, and some silver. 3 of them with the glitters and 1 with just the coloured UV resin. And they're all cured up lovely. The best way to get rid of all this is with the damp cloth, because you don't want to be blowing this around, this resin dust, in your studio. Firstly, it's not good to breathe in, and secondly, you don't want it getting into all your bits and pieces that you make. And then what I'm going to do is take a cloth and give these all a bit of a wipe over as well. So now I've got those all on there like that, what I can do is start threading my wire on. And the wire I measured by literally just putting the wire around my neck, deciding how big I want them to be, then cutting it to that length. I can adjust that when I finish off the actual items. And you can do any pattern that you want and any shape that you want, but I've decided on having it this way. So I've got two smaller ones, one larger one for this one, and then I'll have two smaller ones after that. Now I want those to be as flat as possible. I want all the bases of these molds to be at the bottom, so all the flat bits really. And I also want them to be spread out a little bit. Now you could put some beads in between these if you wished, and you could also put some pattern in there by doing a little bit of wire wrapping. You know, it's really up to you. I want kind of like an equal space in there. And I want these to be in the center of this piece of wire. There we go. So something like that. So they're not quite in the center yet. So that's roughly now in the center. And all my bits are facing down. And now what I'm going to be using is this really lovely and wide damming tape by J Diction as well. But I'm not going to do one long strip. What I'm going to do is a piece for each one of them. Like that. And then push that down. I don't want any leaks or anything. Now, you could fill these with epoxy resin if you wanted to. That wouldn't be a problem. But I'm going to use UV resin for this one. There we go. So that's all down now. I'm going to give those a really good push to make sure that they're fully adhered to that tape, and now I can start filling them up. So now I've got the red ones in, I'm doing the outside ones in green, and you could do them all as one color inserts, or you could do every one of them as an individual color. I am making sure I'm taking it right to the top like this, because I will probably dome these up afterwards. I'll leave them for a few more minutes, and then I'll go over them like there's a little few bubbles there. I will go over them with a long neck light. And then, like I said, you could use epoxy resin for this. It probably would work out quite a lot cheaper than using UV resin. But the UV resin is going to be cured within about 5 minutes. So it's a lot quicker. So they're ready now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cure them up for 300 seconds. So now that's had that amount of time, what I'm going to do is cure them again for 3 minutes, but both top and bottom, and that should work fairly easily. There we are. I will link everything that I've used in the description below. A big thank you to everyone that got me a coffee last month. I really do appreciate it. Every penny of the coffees goes straight back into buying things for this channel as well, and you get your name on my coffee board. So thank you for those coffees or tips or whatever you want to call them. I really do appreciate them. Thank you. So they've cured now, and I can check them on the back, and yet they're lovely and cured. What I'm going to do is put that to one side, and then I'll finish them all off together. The next one I'm going to do is this black one, and I'm going to put the black one on a black wire, oddly enough, and spread them out exactly the same and set them up exactly the same as I did before. And then I'll show you how I'm going to put the stars in so they can be seen. So for this one, what I'm going to do is start off with some low viscosity resin, and I want that to go in just under the wire, although I don't mind at all if the wire shows through. In fact, I'm going to go so it's just about halfway across the wire to purposely get that wire to show through. I think that's going to look nice. And the reason I'm using the low viscosity resin is because I want it to just lay quite flat on this. There we go. Burst any bubbles that have come up. And now I can put my tiny little stars in. And I'm not worried about where they go or if there's an equal number in each one of them. It doesn't matter. But I am going to make sure that some of them go under that wire. And once I'm happy with the amount that I've got in this, I'll move on to the next one and then again cure them all up at the same time. So now I've got those all put in roughly where I want them. I think they're spread out enough. I'm going to cure that up for 3 minutes before I put the next bit on. So now they're done. What I'm going to do is fill it back up with black again. Now, it might seem a bit strange having it black on black, but this is actually the black UV coloured, not the glitter one. So you're going to get a little bit of a contrast going between the outside and the inside. Burn off any bubbles that come up, like those two great big ones there. And now cure that up. Well, they're all done now, and I'm ready to take the backing off. Some of these I'm going to dome, and some I'm not. That one I probably am going to dome, the white one, because I've done a pattern on the other side of it, and I want that pattern to really, really stand out. And this is the one with the stars in. I think I'll probably dome that one as well. So these backs should come off fairly simply. Now, if you pull it nice and slowly, then the back will come off and you won't leave any residue behind. Although I don't find I get any residue left behind on these very often with this tape. Pull it slow and then you should get a lovely clean finish. What I'll also do is, once these are all done and I've showed you how I'm going to dome them, I will also show you how I'm going to turn them into a necklace and finish off the ends. Look at that. That is so pretty already. I love that. I'm ready to dome these now, and they'll dome really easy. What I'm going to be using is the high viscosity UV resin for this. And the reason is it's a really nice thick resin. I've shown this 99% of the time. I use this for doming anything that needs doming now, because it makes my life so much easier and gives such a great result and a really lovely hard finish. So I'm going to go dome it like that, wait a couple of seconds for the bubbles, any bubbles to come up, and then I will cure that as I go. Once I've finished them all, then I will show you exactly how I'm going to turn these into necklaces and what the other ones look like. I finished doming all the ones that I want to dome. I love how they've come out. This one, I think, has come out really, really pretty. And the one with the star. In fact, I think they all have. They've come out really, really pretty. The one with the stars in. This one I haven't domed. I particularly like the flat finish on this. So now what I'm going to do is quickly show you how I'm going to get these so that they can connect together and they can be worn as necklaces. What I'm going to do first of all is measure this around my neck by looking into a mirror to decide where I want the drop. What I'm going to be doing for the thicker wire, I'm going to be doing a different method than for the thinner wire. So I've measured how wide I want these to be, and all I'm going to be doing is cutting those off to that sort of length. And now I want to make a loop here, straighten that out here, and make a loop on that end there, like that. And then I want this one to fit into that loop. So I'm going to double that over. Like I said, you could use lots of different types of wire wrapping techniques for your wire. You could put all different charms on them and things like that. And you'd easily be able to decorate these up really well. So I've got my double hoop there. And now what I'm going to do is make a little clasp by pulling that around like that. And then that can fit in there like that. So I'm going to make both of the thicker ones in the same way, and then I'll show you how I'm going to do the thinner ones. So for the thinner ones, what I'm going to do is do a loop here like that and twist that off here so I can put extra chain on it, and the same for this side as well. And now I'm going to add a couple of bits of chain on this. That's the loop it's going to latch into. I'm using these links here to add a little bit onto this, and then I'm going to add a lobster claw, which is one of those, and then that can clip into there like that. And that's how I'm going to finish off the other one as well, with this one here with the thin, and then I'll show you what they look like on. There we go, they're all done now, and they've all got clasps on, and what I'm going to do is put them on and show you what they look like. I don't know what I would call it. I really like this multicolored one, and it sits nice on the neck. These aren't going to flip over in any way, and it just sits there nicely. You could have carried on with smaller ones, or you could put little loops or beads in between them. Your imagination. I just wanted to show you this technique. I think this one as well looks really pretty. I think they all look pretty, so I'm not going to say that about each individual one, because if not, that's just going to be really boring. Oh, and you'll have to excuse my hair. I haven't had time to get to the barbers and have a haircut. Look how grey I'm getting. Oh, it's the worry of this channel. And there's that one. I think that looks really pretty. The star one, and you could put anything in these that you wanted to. And they're not heavy at all. You don't actually know you've got them on. I do like that one. And then the last one, with the little pattern on. Now, you could use this one the other way around as well if you just wanted it to be white, but I do like this little pattern that I put in. And that's what that one looks like. Really comfortable to wear, unique, and I think it's another way to use molds that perhaps you don't use and have fun with. I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed making it and sharing this technique with you. Have a go, let me know in the comments what you think. I really would be interested. Check out the video that I made putting it directly onto chain, because that one came out exceptionally well as well. I'll link that now at the end here. Boot that like button, hit that subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your resin. Take care. Bye.